One of the other controversies that waged during the week was whether or not President Michael D Higgins, Jack, was appropriate in saying what he did, going outside the conventional brief of the president and making foreign policy statements. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I suppose it's not the first time that the President Michael D Higgins has done it, and I think, to be honest, his comments were probably nearly mirrored as well by comments by the Taoiseach Leo Varadkar. I think yesterday it was. I think there was definitely across the Irish political system and in civil society, there was certainly a sense that, and in other European countries, that Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission President, had herself overstepped the mark in her initial response to Israel, and kind of the unconditional level of support she gave them.
Yeah. Now, the explanation given for lighting up the Berlaymont building in the colours of Israel was that they did the same for Ukraine when Ukraine was invaded. They did the same in France when the terrorist attacks happened. They lit up the buildings in the French colours, that this was a convention. Her statements obviously were maybe not nuanced enough. The president, Colm, does he have the right to go on about these things shooting from the hip?
Just a quick one on the lighting up of the building. I think it's an amazing discussion because I can't think of another single country in the world that if over 1,000 people were killed in a terrorist atrocity, that question would even have been raised. So I would just ask the people.
So you think there's an anti-Israeli bias in that conversation?
Well, I think it's amazing because I can't think of another country, and if somebody can, I'd like them to tell me, because I can't think of another country if over 1,000 people were slaughtered in a horrific terrorist attack that question would be raised. The president, ironically, it's one of those catch-22s in relation to his comments, because I totally agree with his comment. I think that the president of the Commission did go, in a way too far in her statement, because she didn't bring that balance, which everybody in this country, and the President and the Taoiseach, I think, particularly reflected that in their comments, and so has the Taoiseach, which is the balance that we always strike to build from our own collective experience, that there must be a recognition of the right for self-defence to Israel, but it must be done in the context of observing international law. You cannot go outside that, and to go outside that puts your country in an offside position. And you don't want to do that, because you have the right to defend yourself, but not the right to break the law.
Marian?
Well, I think it's not so much whether you agree with what the president said or not. I think a lot of people do. The question is, should he have said it? And that's a very different question. And I'm not sure about that, and that's the truth. You obviously have to look at the legalities of it. I would question it. I absolutely agree with him. I was furious with von der Leyen and with the Hungarian commissioner, shooting from the hip straight out, wanting to be seen, to be important, to be playing a role. They'd be far better off to stop and to be considered and be measured, because it does not help. Now, I hear what Colm said. Is there another country in the world where we'd even question about lighting up the Berlaymont or anywhere else in their flags' colours if it happened? And you're right. But in everything, there's context. And that's what we're looking at here.